Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. As a man, have a code. Now this is bigger than just man gets woman. Y'all know how I do on this channel. No, this is about, as a man, you got to have a code of living. And however you come across that code is up to you. It could be because of the religious path you follow, the political path you follow, however you follow. But it has to be a code that you live by. As a man, you supposed to be an alpha. Y'all notice I don't ever talk about that whole alpha, this person's alpha, this person's beta, because in my view, because you know there's 1,000 interpretations of being alpha. In my view, every single man's an alpha. Every man who has the potential to be a father is an alpha. When you're in that household, how you going to be like the head of household but calling yourself beta? Indeed, the whole alpha male thing came from wolves, and it's more of a family thing anyway. Let's just be real with it. So that means every single man is an alpha. You're a leader. But as a leader, you need to follow something, and that's a code that you create. Now, yes, you can get you can pull stuff from a religion or some philosophy or whatever, but ultimately it's up to you to decide. And you got to have a code, because one of the worst things for a man out here in life is just to be drifting along, just to do stuff whenever he feels like it or something. There's got to be some things you say, no, this goes against my code. I'm not going to do it. I'll give you one code I have. I've never in my life had sex with a drunk woman. Even if we were in a relationship, if she was drunk, I was like, no. Because I never wanted to get back to me or a woman to say that I coerced her in any way. She got to be a 100% down. So I've never done that. There's certain things I won't do. There's certain things I will do because it's my code. Now, there's been some times I've said, you know, I might say like, oh yeah, get in my face with something. That's because one of my code is, if I say something, I'm willing to fight to defend it. That's my code. I'm willing to back it up. I'm willing to face the consequences. You know, even if it does mean fighting, even if it means I get my ass whipped. Hey, that's an ass whipping I have to take. But I'm going to defend my code with force. There's certain things I'm going to do. And I've even told, there's some women I've dealt with who, they were fine. You know, had that big round butt dunk and everything, you know, looking good, all that. But I've actually rejected women, those very women, the ones that got me like this, because dealing with them would have went against a code that I had. Dealing with them would have went against a code. Now, has it been perfect? No, but that's how I developed the code. Because see, one of the ways a man can develop a code is just through his living. Because that's why I say, yes, you can draw it from your religion, your philosophy, whatever, some teachers, you can draw stuff from me. But at the end of the day, it has to be your code. You decide, you enforce it. Because I'm going to tell you what, let me go deep. In many philosophies, in many religions, there is the belief or the faith or whatever knowledge that there are 3 levels of human beings. You know, if I use the most simplest definition, what they would do in the Taoist beliefs, they will talk about the inferior man, the superior man, and the sage. You know, the sage, they way up there. But most people shouldn't, I mean, that's like Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Moses. That's up there. But if you're talking about superior man, which is just below that, who is above the inferior man or the masses, you know, the thing that separates the superior man from the inferior man, gets him to the second level of evolution, is his willpower. His willpower, which means at crossroad events, his will carry him through. He will not succumb to whatever the flow is or following somebody. He will do something because his will called for it. It's his will. Now, The thing is, a code represents your will. It means when you come across a situation, you're going to measure it against your code. Does your code call for you to do this certain thing? And if it doesn't, then you can skip over it. Like one of my codes is never be in a situation where I'm not in control of myself. So I don't drink. I don't drink. You know, I don't do anything. I've never really used drugs. I've tried them, I ain't gonna lie. I've tried some drugs back in the day. You know, I tried some Love Boat for those from DC. I know Love Boat will have you walking down the street butt naked. It was that one time and I was like, oh no. I wasn't walking down the street naked, but they said, people with me, they said, yeah, Rom, you were just doing this. I'm like, I don't remember it, so I ain't touching it again. Because that's part of my code, not to deal with that. You got to have a code how you going to deal with women. Let's be real. People come to this channel, you want to know man gets women. You got to have a certain code that no matter what, I don't care what the woman look like, what she doing, you don't violate it. That's how you don't get played. If that woman said once you do something, you know it goes against your code, you got to look her in the eye and say, nah, that's against my code. And if she don't like it, it's like, well, damn, you had a fat butt, but I'll savor it as you're walking out my door. Indeed, sometimes you might have to push her out the door. You got that foot to her because no, you are not going to let her violate your code. How you deal with other men. How you deal with other men, there's a certain code. There's a certain disrespect you should never take. There's a certain disrespect you should never take. That's why, and even to the point of laying out that body if you have to. That's how much your code got to mean to you, that you're willing to kill for it. And I do mean kill for it. Because if you, look, let me tell you what, because I know some people say, hey, no, you shouldn't go that far. You should have the type of code that if someone comes at you, they try to violate it, you let them know, no, this is how much, this is my code. This is how far I'm willing to go. You know, one of my codes is standing on everything I say. Because, you know, of course, I got some people, they don't like what I say. Okay, but I'm going to show my face and say it. Like I said, I will get in front of a Senate hearing, Supreme Court, wherever, in front of some gang member, somebody holding guns. I'm going to say, no. Yeah, go ahead and shoot me. That's how much. You got to be willing to die for your code. If you ain't willing to die, then you're willing to live for it as a slave. It's just that simple. That's how much your code got to mean to you. If we talk about relationships, your real relationship is to that code. You're going to maintain that code no matter what. And every man has to have one. And like I said, you can pull from wherever. You can pull from what I'm saying, what another content creator is saying. You can pull from your spiritual leader. You can read a book. You know, part of my code has come from the art of war, the way I carry myself. Part of my code is from the art of war. I drew some things from Ayn Rand's monumental book, Atlas Shrugged. That's my code. And your code is personal to you. But that's how much you got to have it. Because once you violate your own code, you give up your sovereignty as a man. Like I said, every single man, in my view, every single man is an alpha of his world. When you if you take a wife, because most of y'all ain't trying to be players, and that's cool. That's respectable. Hey, shoot, you want that good woman, you want that progeny. If you the father in that house, you the alpha. Because as a man, you shouldn't submit to another man. Once you're a father, your children won't respect you. Your woman won't respect you. And if you submit to another man, especially if that man come against your family, you're a sucker. You're a punk. You're weak. Nah, you the alpha. This your world. Somebody cross your threshold, lay out that motherfucking body. That's how you gotta be. That's as a man you gotta be. This is my code. This is my world. I'm the alpha of it. We follow. This is my rules. Whoever don't like it, even if your family don't like it, say, no, it's my way, the highway. This is my world. But that's your code. That is your code. Once you have that code, because I'm going to tell you something now. That code, once you really get into it, you will fight to defend it. You will fight to defend it. You know, do whatever you take. Now, I know some people say, oh, Ron, look at all this fighting and stuff. I'm going to tell you something else. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people submit too easily. Too easily. And they ain't willing to defend it. They ain't willing to back up their words. One of my code is everything I say, I'll back up. Whether you consider it right, wrong, or whatever. Now, if I'm wrong, one of my codes is if I realize I'm wrong about something, I'll acknowledge it. I'll acknowledge it because that's one of my code too, to always be correct. But until I get a reason to feel like it's incorrect, it is correct. But that's my code too, because another part of my personal code is to always learn. Because even with something, even with body game, I'll use that as an example. As much as I promote it, I've always been looking for alternatives. See, okay, can somebody beat this out? No. I looked at a lot of stuff because I say, okay, let me adjust it, do that. And I've actually did that too, because part of my goal, part of my code is always to add to my knowledge, to always look into it, you know? That's the thing. And every man got to be that way. Whatever your code is, that's your code. Your code. You created it. It's your world. You the alpha of that. Understand that. So as a man, have a code. If you don't have a code, certain things you won't do. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'll tell you straight up, I don't have any respect for you. I don't have any respect. Yeah, if you're in my presence or something, I'll treat you like a human being or something, but, you know, I don't have any respect for you. There's certain things a man got to say no to some things. Even when, especially when you're dealing with, I'm going to tell you something with women. By the nature of them, they will give you a shit test to see if you follow that code. And you got, no matter what, she could be there butt naked trying to get you to do something against your code. You got to be like, girl, put your codes on. I'm not violating my code. Understand that. And like I said, you got to be ready to fight for your code. If you ain't ready to fight for your code, you're weak. That's how far you got to go. You know, and I don't have to agree with your code. I don't have to agree with it at all. I don't have to agree. The next man don't have to agree with it. As long as it's your code, develop your code. And then, like I said, you can draw from wherever, philosophers, religion, whatever. That's your code. Certain things you're not going to do. When you're dealing with women, you let them know, no, if you're going to deal with me, this is my code. This is how I'm going to deal with you. If you try to violate that, I'm going to watch your ass walk out the door. That's how it has to be. Indeed, you got to have that code on a job. And I've said it before. The last time I was working a full-time job, I nearly went to a manager's face. In fact, I got into it with managers several times on jobs over the years because my code was, if I'm here, you will not disrespect me. And not even money will make me disrespect me. Yeah, not even money. Not even money. That's my code. You want to be respectful to me. You know? That's my code. You know? And I don't play that. And you got to be that. Now, that, you know what you might be cooler with if it's your code, but it got to be your code. Understand that. So I want y'all to work on that seriously. And this is, like I said, this is bigger than getting some pussy. Way bigger, because it's your life. If you that dude, you just want to sit back, chill, play video games, live life on your terms, and that's your code, go ahead and do it. Forget what everybody else say. Forget people say, oh, you should take this woman. No, if it's your code, it's your code. All right? You know? Live according on your terms. That's one of my codes too. And now if you want to, or you know what, if it's your code to follow other people, okay. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be real with you. That's not something I would do. But if that's your code for whatever reason, go for it. Personally, I'm like, no. But don't matter what I think. It's up to you. So whatever your code is. Though I will say, my view is every single man should work for his own sovereignty. Every single man. Or at least some leverage wherever he's at. All right? So that's all I got for today. I want you to build it. Start from this moment. Think about what your code is. If you don't have one, start building one. All right? Think on this. Keep rising.